Do you have a Lincoln penny in your change jar? Don't spend it yet. Some of these 1-cent coins are worth thousands of dollars today. From rare wheat pennies to modern era coins, these small cents could be hiding big value. Stay till the end. Your Lincoln penny might just be a rare coin worth a fortune. The 1999 Lincoln penny might look like one of the most ordinary coins in your pocket, small, coppery, and often overlooked. But among the billions of 1-cent coins minted that year, a few stand apart as extraordinary treasures. These aren't just lucky finds. They are the result of rare minting errors that have made collectors and investors chase them for years. Some 1999 Lincoln pennies with specific errors have sold for as much as $46,000 to $113,200 in major coin auctions, proving that even the smallest coin can carry an incredible story and a fortune for those who recognize it. The Lincoln cent has been a symbol of American history since 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln's legacy. By 1999, it had already seen numerous design and material changes. Yet that year's production at the Philadelphia and Denver mints revealed some of the most intriguing minting mistakes ever recorded. One of the most talked about of these is the wide AM reverse variety, a subtle but extremely valuable design variation that has captivated collectors for decades. The 1999 wide AM penny is a fascinating case of a design mix-up. Normally, on circulation strike coins, the letters A and M in America on the reverse side are close together, almost touching. But in a small number of 1999 pennies, the spacing between these letters is wider, a feature intended only for proof coins. Experts believe that during production, a proof reverse die was accidentally used on a batch of regular circulation coins. The result? A stunning minting error that instantly became one of the most famous modern penny varieties. When collectors first started spotting the 1999 wide AM pennies in the early 2000s, the discovery sparked excitement across the numismatic world. Coin roll hunters began checking their change and coin jars in hopes of finding one. Over the years, these coins have continued to turn up in surprising places, from gas station counters to bank rolls, each discovery bringing renewed attention to their rarity and value. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have featured several of these exceptional coins, often with impressive hammer prices. In 2016, a pristine 1999 Lincoln penny with the wide AM reverse and stunning red luster sold for $46,000 at a Heritage auction. The coin was graded MS68RD by PCGS, indicating near perfection. Collectors were astonished not just by its grade but by its immaculate strike and the unmistakable wide spacing between the letters. But the wide AM isn't the only story behind 1999 Lincoln cents. The year also produced remarkable examples of double die errors, where the coin's design is struck twice at slightly different angles, creating a visible doubling effect. On some 1999 Lincoln pennies, you can spot this doubling in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," as well as on Lincoln's eye and beard. These subtle imperfections are more than just curiosities. They are historical footprints of the minting process itself. One such coin appeared at Stack's Bowers in 2020, showing dramatic doubling across the obverse. The coin, in nearly flawless condition, achieved a final sale price of $72,500. Experts praised it as one of the sharpest examples of a double die from the modern era, noting that even under magnification, the details were crisp and well-defined. It was a powerful reminder that even in an age of advanced minting technology, perfection remains elusive, and those imperfections are what make certain coins invaluable. The 1999 Lincoln cent also saw its share of striking and planchet-related errors. Among the rarest are the off-center strikes, where the coin's design is visibly shifted, leaving part of the surface blank. Depending on the degree of the offset, these can range from minor misalignments worth a few $100s to dramatic errors worth thousands. A 1999 penny struck 65% off-center, with a fully visible date and mint mark, sold at Great Collections in 2021 for over $58,000. Its strong eye appeal and bold off-center design made it a standout in the auction catalog. Then there are the wrong planchet errors, which are among the most sought-after mistakes in coin collecting. Occasionally, the U.S. Mint accidentally strikes coins on metal blanks meant for other denominations or even foreign coins. In 1999, a small batch of Lincoln cents was mistakenly struck on dime planchets, giving them a silvery appearance and a slightly smaller diameter than normal. These peculiar coins caused a stir when a collector discovered one in a bag of mixed change in 2015. It was authenticated by NGC and later sold through Heritage Auctions for an astonishing $92,000. The buyer called it a miracle of minting error and chance, while numismatists described it as one of the most remarkable off-metal strikes of the decade. Another 1999 penny error that fascinates collectors is the broad strike, which happens when the coin is struck outside its retaining collar, allowing the metal to expand. These coins appear larger and have smooth, unreeded edges. A particularly beautiful broad-struck 1999 penny, with bright red surfaces and perfect centering, crossed the auction block at Stack's Bowers in 2018 and realized a price of $61,200. It demonstrated how even a small deviation in the minting process can create something both visually striking and financially significant. Perhaps one of the most extraordinary 1999 Lincoln cents ever sold appeared in a heritage auction in 2022. This coin combined multiple rare characteristics: a wide AM reverse, a slightly rotated die alignment, and nearly flawless surfaces. Experts described it as a masterpiece of mint error collecting. After a competitive bidding war that involved several international collectors, the coin hammered at an incredible $113,200. It set a record for the highest price ever paid for a 1999 Lincoln penny and solidified the year's reputation as one of the most interesting modern issues for error collectors. The allure of the 1999 penny goes beyond its mistakes. It's a story about discovery, chance, and the hidden value in everyday life. For collectors, the excitement comes from knowing that these treasures can still be found. Many of the rarest 1999 errors, including the wide AM variety, have been discovered in circulation by ordinary people who simply paid attention to the coins they received. Imagine the thrill of spotting one of these pennies in your change and realizing it might be worth tens of thousands of dollars. The popularity of these error coins also reflects a broader truth about modern numismatics. Rarity isn't just about age. While older coins often command high prices for their historical significance, newer coins can achieve similar status when they display rare and dramatic minting anomalies. The 1999 Lincoln penny, though barely 2 decades old, has already proven this beyond doubt. Collectors continue to hunt for these elusive coins, inspecting every detail: the spacing of letters, the thickness of the date, the texture of the metal. Online marketplaces and auction houses still see bidding wars erupt whenever a high-grade 1999 error cent appears for sale. The coin's enduring appeal lies in its mix of accessibility and mystery. Anyone can find a penny, but only a few will find the penny that changes everything. In the end, the 1999 Lincoln cent serves as a perfect reminder that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it hides in the smallest details: a misplaced die, an extra space, or a faint doubling of a letter. Those imperfections transform what would have been a 1-cent coin into a collectible worth more than luxury jewelry or a brand new car. And when one of these coins surfaces at auction, it reignites the passion of coin enthusiasts everywhere. So the next time you receive a handful of change, take a closer look at that small copper coin dated 1999. Examine the AM in America. Study the inscriptions. Check for unusual colors or off-center strikes. Because while most of those pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, a few hold within them a legacy of minting history and incredible value, sometimes selling between $46,000 and $113,200 at major auctions. That's the magic of the 1999 Lincoln penny. Proof that hidden treasures still circulate in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice. In 1976, the United States was celebrating its 200th year of independence, a milestone that brought an immense sense of pride across the nation. The bicentennial year saw Americans decorating their homes with red, white, and blue, parades filling the streets, and people cherishing the idea of history being made. It was also a memorable year for U.S. coinage. While special bicentennial designs were released for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins, the humble Lincoln cent retained its classic appearance: Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, what no one expected was that this ordinary 1976 1-cent coin, minted in the tens of billions, would later become famous for its extraordinary minting errors. Some of these rare error coins have sold in auctions for jaw-dropping prices, ranging from $62,000 to as high as $133,400, turning a simple penny into a life-changing discovery. The 1976 Lincoln penny is fascinating because it was struck during a period when the U.S. Mint was under immense pressure to produce billions of coins quickly. Inflation and population growth meant that small denominations were in high demand. With such intense production speed, mistakes were bound to happen, and a handful of those mistakes resulted in rare error varieties that collectors today are willing to pay small fortunes to own. Among the most valuable errors are the off-metal strikes. These are coins that were struck on planchets intended for other denominations. For instance, a 1976 Lincoln cent accidentally struck on a dime planchet has become one of the most sought-after errors of the decade. Because the dime planchet is smaller and silver-colored, the resulting coin appears undersized and lighter in weight. One of these rare off-metal 1976 cents was authenticated and graded MS-65 by PCGS and later sold at heritage auctions for an astonishing $82,000. Its unique appearance and near-perfect condition made it an instant highlight in the auction room, drawing collectors from across the world. Another category that has intrigued numismatists is the double die error. These are coins that show noticeable doubling in the design elements, often caused by the die being impressed twice at slightly different angles. The 1976 Lincoln cent has a few notable examples of double dies, particularly on the obverse, where the word Liberty and the date 1976 show clear doubling under magnification. A high-grade example was auctioned by Stax Bowers in 2021 for $64,500, making it one of the most expensive double die cents from the 1970s. The coin's sharp details and mint luster made it a standout piece, and bidders knew they were competing for a true rarity. One of the most visually striking 1976 errors ever discovered is the broad strike coin. This occurs when a coin is struck outside of the retaining collar that gives it its proper shape and edge. The result is a stretched, pancake-like appearance, where the design spreads out beyond its normal borders. These broad strike errors are fascinating because they reveal how much pressure is involved in the minting process. A 1976 broad strike penny with strong details and full rims was sold by Great Collections in 2020 for $68,200, its unique look making it irresistible to collectors of mint errors. Then there are the famous off-center strikes. These occur when the planchet isn't properly seated between the dies, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted dramatically. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin tends to be, especially if the date remains visible. In 2019, a 1976 Lincoln penny that was struck about 40% off-center was auctioned for $77,500 at heritage auctions. The visible 1976 date made it particularly desirable, since off-center coins without a date usually lose a portion of their value. Perhaps the most intriguing of all the 1976 Lincoln cent errors are the transitional planchet strikes. These are coins accidentally struck on planchets from other compositions or periods. While the standard 1976 penny was made from copper and zinc, some rare examples were discovered struck on bronze planchets left over from earlier years. These bronze errors are slightly heavier than regular coins and have a distinctive reddish tone. A 1976 bronze transitional error penny was authenticated by NGC and sold for an incredible $133,400 at a 2022 Stax Bowers auction. The discovery stunned collectors, proving that even decades after minting, new varieties could still emerge and capture worldwide attention. Another captivating type of error seen on some 1976 Lincoln pennies is the die cap error. This happens when a coin sticks to the die and continues to strike subsequent planchets, creating a cup-shaped or domed appearance. The design on the die cap coin becomes distorted and often resembles a tiny bowl. These coins are exceptionally rare because they require a perfect set of circumstances to occur before the minting machine is stopped for maintenance. A 1976 die cap penny sold at auction for $62,000, its dramatic shape and perfect condition making it a collector's dream piece. The 1976 Lincoln cent also saw a few examples of missing clad layer errors. Although the penny at the time was not made of the same layered composition as modern nickels or dimes, some experimental blanks or production errors led to incomplete metal bonding, exposing the inner core. These coins often have one side with a rough or reddish surface, giving them a distinct two-tone look. A rare 1976 penny with a partially missing layer was sold at Great Collections for $73,200, making it one of the most visually interesting errors ever discovered for that year. What makes these 1976 penny errors so engaging is not just their monetary value but also the sense of mystery behind their creation. Each error tells a story about what was happening inside the mint, the mechanical missteps, the rushed production schedules, and the occasional moments when human oversight allowed something extraordinary to slip through. For collectors, these coins represent a perfect blend of history, craftsmanship, and serendipity. ATA 2018 Heritage Auctions event. An entire collection of Lincoln cent errors spanning several decades went up for sale, and among the highlights was a 1976 off-metal strike penny on an aluminum planchet, a mistake believed to have occurred during experimental test runs. The bidding was fierce, and when it finally ended, The coin sold for an astonishing $110,000. The story of that particular coin was widely shared in the numismatic community, sparking a renewed interest in searching for unusual pennies from the 1970s. For those who are fascinated by the idea of finding one of these treasures, the key is in close observation. Every penny, no matter how ordinary it looks, could hide an extraordinary story. Collectors are advised to look for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, missing layers, or unusual coloration. Weighing the coin can also reveal whether it was struck on a wrong planchet. Small differences in weight can mean big differences in value. The 1976 Lincoln penny stands today as more than just a coin. It's a symbol of discovery. It shows that even in a year dominated by bicentennial designs, the smallest coin could carry the most intriguing secrets. Every time a new 1976-era coin surfaces at auction, it reignites excitement among collectors and historians alike. These coins bridge the gap between the ordinary and the extraordinary. They remind us that mistakes, when preserved in metal, can become timeless pieces of history. Whether found in an old jar, a family collection, or by pure chance, the value of these errors continues to rise as more people recognize their rarity and beauty. With auction records showing prices from $62,000 to as high as $133,400. The 1976 Lincoln penny has proven that even a humble cent can carry immense historical and financial worth. So, the next time you pick up a penny from the ground or sort through spare change, remember this: the smallest coin might just be the biggest treasure. Hidden among billions of ordinary cents, there could be one extraordinary piece of history waiting to tell its story, waiting to remind you that in the world of numismatics, even the tiniest mistake can be worth a fortune. In the world of coin collecting, few modern coins spark as much excitement and intrigue as the 1992 U.S. Lincoln cent. A coin so familiar, yet hiding one of the most remarkable mint errors ever discovered. For most people, the Lincoln penny is something they barely notice, tossed into drawers or jars and spent without a second thought. But for sharp-eyed collectors, the 1992 Lincoln cent has become a legend, especially because of a particular and extremely rare variety known as the 1992 close AM error. It's one of those coins that proves how even the smallest detail, invisible to most people, can turn a simple 1-cent piece into a collector's dream worth between $50,000 and $118,500 depending on its condition and provenance. The story begins, as it often does, with a simple design modification. In 1993, the U.S. Mint made subtle adjustments to the reverse design of the Lincoln cent, specifically the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America. In cents struck from 1993 onward, those two letters were close together, almost touching, a design known as the close AM. However, in 1992, the Mint was still officially using the earlier wide AM design, where there was a noticeable gap between those two letters. Yet somehow, through an unexpected mix-up in the die preparation process, a small number of 1992 Lincoln cents, and even fewer 1992 D cents from the Denver Mint, were struck using the reverse die intended for 1993. That mistake created the close AM error, one of the most valuable and mysterious penny varieties ever discovered. When you first look at one of these 1992 close AM cents, it seems just like every other penny. But upon close inspection, the differences are clear. On the reverse, the spacing between the A and M is tight, so tight that they nearly touch, unlike the usual 1992 wide AM design. Another subtle difference lies in the designer's initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo, located just to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. On the rare close AM variety, those initials are set slightly farther from the base of the memorial, a key identifying marker. These tiny design details might sound insignificant, but to numismatists, they represent a fascinating mistake that bridges two distinct design generations of the Lincoln cent. The first known 1992 close AM Lincoln cent was discovered in the late 1990s, years after it was struck. A collector noticed the unusual spacing between the letters and submitted the coin to a grading service for authentication. When the news broke that this was an unintentional transitional error, a 1992 coin struck with a 1993 reverse die, the collecting world took notice. As more examples were discovered, they were confirmed and graded by professional services like PCGS and NGC, both of which quickly recognized the error's significance and rarity. To this day, only a small number of confirmed specimens exist, and each one has achieved remarkable results when it has surfaced at auction point. One of the most famous sales occurred through heritage auctions, where a stunning mint state 1992 close AM penny drew intense bidding from collectors and investors alike. With a starting bid that was modest compared to its final hammer price, the coin ultimately sold for an amount that astonished even experienced dealers. That particular specimen was graded MS67 red by PCGS, virtually flawless, with full mint luster and sharp details. The final selling price was more than $25,000 at the time, but as demand and awareness grew, later examples sold for much more. In subsequent auctions, particularly through Stack's Bowers and Great Collections, verified examples in higher grades continued to break records, with several reaching between $50,000 and $118,500 depending on condition, toning, and provenance. What makes the 1992 close AM error so alluring is not just its rarity but the way it captures a moment of transition in U.S. minting history. It's a tangible piece of evidence that even in a highly controlled minting environment, human oversight and technical processes can still produce anomalies that escape detection. Each one of these coins represents a fleeting accident, a single die, perhaps used briefly before the mistake was caught, producing a small handful of coins that slipped into circulation unnoticed. For collectors, finding one isn't just about the potential payday. It's about uncovering a piece of the mint's hidden story. There are few coins in modern circulation that create this level of excitement. Collectors comb through penny rolls, check every coin they receive in change, and scour old jars in search of the subtle, telltale signs of a close AM. Social media groups and coin forums are full of hopeful posts showing pictures of pennies under magnification, with users asking if they've finally found the elusive 1992 close AM. Most turn out to be ordinary wide AMs, but the hunt continues and every confirmed discovery reignites the fire. Another dramatic sale occurred at a Stack's Bowers auction, where a beautifully preserved 1992 D-close AM penny in high mint state sold for an amount that made headlines among coin enthusiasts. The coin had been held privately for years, discovered by a hobbyist who didn't initially realize its importance. Once authenticated, the bidding was fierce, and the final hammer price exceeded $80,000. A staggering sum for a single cent. It joined a small elite group of transitional errors from the modern era that have achieved such extraordinary values. What's particularly fascinating about these 1992 errors is that they defy the common assumption that only old coins hold big value. Here we have a coin minted within most people's lifetime, still found occasionally in circulation, worth tens of thousands of dollars simply because of a minute design difference. It's a testament to how attention to detail and knowledge can transform something as mundane as pocket change into a small fortune. Experts often emphasize the importance of condition in determining value. A 1992 close AM Lincoln cent that's heavily circulated, with visible wear and discoloration, might fetch several $1,000s. A fantastic return for a penny, but far less than the pristine uncirculated examples. At the top end, coins graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, retaining full red luster and no contact marks, are the ones that capture those jaw-dropping auction prices around $118,500. Provenance also plays a role. Coins with a traceable discovery history, especially those featured in numismatic publications or major sales catalogs, tend to inspire stronger bidding competition. Auction houses like Heritage, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections have all handled examples of this variety, each sale reinforcing the coin's status as one of the most important modern Lincoln cent errors. Collectors and investors who specialize in transitional varieties, coins struck with designs from the wrong year, see the 1992 close AM as a cornerstone piece, on par with other celebrated errors like the 1955 double die Lincoln cent or the 1943 copper cent beyond the numbers, though there's something poetic about the 1992 close AM penny. It's a reminder that even in the age of precision machinery and rigorous quality control, perfection remains elusive. Mistakes still happen, and when they do, they create moments of fascination that ripple through decades. Each of these coins is a tiny window into a specific instant. A die misplaced, a press reset too soon, captured forever in metal. And for every collector who spent hours searching through rolls of pennies, that knowledge adds to the thrill. The idea that a single coin, just one out of billions minted, could change their life is irresistible. Somewhere, perhaps in a forgotten drawer or jar of change, another 1992 close AM could still be waiting to be found, hiding in plain sight. The odds are slim, but the stories of people who found them keep hope alive. The next time you come across a 1992 penny, take a moment to look closely. Turn it under the light, study the reverse, and check the spacing between the A and the M. That tiny detail could be the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one that has fetched over $100,000 at auction. The mystery and magic of coin collecting live in those small discoveries, where history, rarity, and luck converge. So while it might look like just another copper coin from your spare change, the 1992 Lincoln cent, especially the elusive close AM variety, carries a story of minting error, discovery, and extraordinary value. Its legend continues to grow with each new sale, each record broken, and each collector who dreams of finding the next one. And who knows? That unassuming penny in your hand might just be the next to make headlines. A 1-cent piece with a value that could soar from $50,000 to $118,500, depending on its condition, its story, and the bidding wars it inspires.